Hello guys, hope you guys are doing good. I still have some couple things to share with you guys regarding the crumbling South Korea. As you see on the title, I named this is the reason why South Korea is failing like Vietnam. So there's like around 1960s, Vietnam was like divided into two countries. One is a communist, one was a republic, and of course the communist was won the battle, and the other party was lost. And after that, many people massacred. Even though many of the South regretted or realized it was too late. That's why here we have so many Vietnamese refugees, because during that time there was a ton of people escaped the countries came to the United States. Right now, South Korea is doing the same thing, just like Vietnam did. Religious people, like North Vietnam took over the broadcast system and using religious people and put the many communist parties in political systems. Same with the South Korea. The media is covering for like a more fake side, favor to North Korea and China, Russia. And they more looking at the Western side, especially United States, as like an evil country. Although we are the one who is beating them. They don't realize that. We are the one who is protecting them from the communist country, which is North Korea and China. And South Korea right now, many of the communist parties in government, intelligent group too, right next to president. It's full of commies there. Although sometimes they do call me like a commie because I came from North Korea. They think like everyone in North Korea is a commie, and they don't realize the way they acting is like they're the commies. And one of the recent guy, his name is Lee Jong-suk. He's in it's a national intelligence, like chief of national intelligence office, something like that. And he shut down the radio station that broadcasting service in South Korea. They are they used to broadcasting towards North Korea, and he completely shut them down. It never happened previously, but that's what's happening right now. So communist countries, especially in North Korea, they controlling the communication. So people won't communicate each other properly. And people might question, like, what about the cell phones? And my question to them is like, do you realize, have you ever thought about someone listening your phone calls, monitoring your phone calls and your text messages? Have you ever thought about that? North Korea is not an easy country to take down. They are not that dumb because they learn from others' mistakes, like Cuba and Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler, and other dictators. They learned that, so they saw that, so they know how to control the people and control the society. Many people think, well, what if people rise up inside? They can slaughter wipe out the entire cities, like the size of LA or New York City. They can do that. They have no problem with it. For them, it's just like a piece of meat. so they can shoot anyone, many as they can. So he shut down the radio station in South Korea broadcasting services. So that's really big favor to North Korea and killing more North Koreans than North Korea's government itself. You know why? Because shutting down the international medias, which is a news. It's like many of us in heaven, we want to know like what's going on in the world right now. So we turn on the news. Some people are watching CNN. Some people are watching Fox News. Of course, I am in favor of Fox News. But people nearby South Korea border, they do listen to those broadcasting services, and they can think. They say like, well, in North Korea systems, they said South Korea is the poorest country in the world, but they do have this kind of freedom. They have a freedom of listening to this kind of music, but we don't. So they can think. And South Korea government is also, especially this one, he's helping North Korea government. It's like, hey, Kim Jong-un, don't worry, I got this, I got your back on the South Korea side. Don't worry about it. Worry free. So that's what he's doing now. There's another lady. What's her name? Her name is Lee Im yes. And South Korea they say Lee, and she was really big favor over North Korea government. And right now, I think it's been more than a decade she's working in South Korea government. When first the dictator Kim Il Sung alive, she came to North Korea and protesting against South Korea, and she was hugging like a dictator Kim Il Sung and crying like a little baby. And imagine those people working for the government. It's like in US, people favor over Chinese government, Russia, and Iran, and they still working in like a government department, like FBI, CIA, those people. What they going to do? And those, of course, they hate America. What they going to do? They destroy the country. That's their goal. Same with South Korea. Many South Koreans, I would say 99% out of 100, thinking that good, if you're attending a good country, like a school, you become like intelligent. That's so messed up thoughts. I learned that that's completely irrelevant, and it's not usable when they taking down previous president Park Geun-hye. When I first time heard the news, I was immediately saying it's just made up story played by North Korea, and everybody was like, oh, she's a bitch, she's evil, and all sorts of things, and they all together like united to taking her down. When they cursing her, like Park Geun-hye, previous president, they were so eager to do it. And what happened now? Now they put in the new guy. And what about the previous guy, the president? He's also like just taken down, just like Park Geun-hye. I mean, he was lucky he didn't even sentenced to jail. Now he's in, but it's like a couple days. When they're taking down Park Geun-hye, previous to president, even the right side was all eager to doing that. They're not even questioning at all, like why media saying this. If I was her, why, what? They didn't even ask that question to themselves. If like they think good school make you smart, then they should think they should ask themselves why. Then they should get the answer right away, but didn't. That's why I really admire about Charlie Kirk. And one of his video mentioning that he said school is it's not make you smart. It's one of the tools that make you success. I totally agree on that. And many people, especially in South Korea, if you went to like a Seoul University or Harvard, Yale, you certainly become like a smart genius like Albert Einstein or Nicholas Tesla. It's not like that. If then that's the case, then entire world already been like a too smart. It should be like a self-driving car. You know, we don't have to walk. We don't have to work then. If that's the case, we should be on the other planet instead of on Earth. So the Lee Jong-suk guy, the way he cut the media's broadcasting systems, that's so Communist Party. He got the PhD just publishing North Korea dictators book. I think like in South Korea they giving PhD and Nobel Prize or Peace Nobel Prize for anyone who says I just learned something from about North Korea and I want to make a peace, and they give me the peace prize. I'm left side, then they give me a peace prize. I think that's what they do for real. Those people, they say they studied in North Korea. Did they live in North Korea for like 8 months without any government designated areas? Have you ever have those people ever been to North Korea present? Have they ever beat up by the North Korean supporters? None of them. And yet they received a PhD. And those fake media is going after those evil ones and say, he has a PhD, he knows all about North Korea. Even he's South Korean and he's a citizen of the United States. He never been to North Korea. He reading a bunch of book. Yes, bunch of book. Talking about the book. If they say Korean, do they know Korean history properly? They even Manchuria is they still say like Chinese land. Do they even think? To me, they are not Korean at all. They learn to how to speak Korean. What is a Korea? First of all, Korea is Goryeo, and 12th to 13th century. I was at 12th to 14th century. Between that area, many traders they came to Asia continent and they found out the Goryeo and they translate to the mother language and talk to others. That's how it become eventually, little by little modified, and then nowadays become people saying Korea, which means Goryeo. South Korea, they gonna call it different name. They say 대한민국. That's totally different. Big nation. What's a big nation name? I never seen in the international record. Nothing. It's only Korea, which is Korea or Joseon. I see Joseon, but I never seen 대한민국 in big nation in any other country, any other the book or history. It's non-existing countries, first of all. And second of all, if you really want to keep your freedom, then think and ask yourself, what is right? Is fighting each other is a right thing to do? And some of the Christians, they even jumping into the political fighting, and they say Bible said this. Bible never said about the political things. If you're looking the Bible as a political book, you are totally misunderstanding about the Bible, and good luck after life. God will say, I saw you were misusing my words. I never talk about the political things, but you're using as a political fighting in your country. So good luck on that. God bless hearts, those people's hearts. And also, when I was in North Korea, it was very briefly I heard about like Kim Il Sung, first dictator was not real, and actual Kim Il Sung was died. The controversy saying like Kim Il Sung the dictator he killed him because he was so famous, and some says like that other guy was died in fighting against Japanese. So which is I believe that he's not actual Kim Il Sung because in Korea we say if we don't change the names because if you do change the names that you have a bad luck, something like that. I don't know about other region, but where I grew up, that's the main thing. So we don't really changing names. And his first name was recognized as Kim Seongju, not the Kim Il Sung, Kim Seongju. So it's totally different. And which is totally makes sense. He changed the name even though he knows the culture. If he really know it, then he shouldn't doing that. And he did, which means it's not his real name. And when you're talking about the other lady, the Im Soo-kyung, she was completely against the South Korea government, and they put her in government headquarters, and they don't even thinking about changing it. If they are really smart, then they should thought about those two. It's like you washing the dishes, you're only washing outside because of people looking at it, but you never washing the inside. You just keep using, reusing without washing it, and you eventually eating the mold and all sorts of maggots because maggots will eventually building. So many like bacteria is building up. You eating them. That's what the South Koreans do, and then they pointing fingers at the North Korean like defectors, like refugees, like you're commies. If you have a guts, then you come face to face to me then, and then say that. And then you go to North Korea, live in there for like a year, and then you say that, hey, let's see. I wonder how much you can survive. I guarantee it's 1 year. That's too long. It's like 1 month. You will learn the consequences of your nasty thoughts. Your retarded mind will be completely changed after like 5 days. I'm not only on the right side. I'm not on the left side either because to me, the right and left they both wrong. The right side always like the cursing at the left side, and when I don't support the right side, they say like they're using like F and S words. Just like in the U.S., most left party they love using S and F words. If you have no answers, then you should ask why don't I have answer? What is it? You should ask instead of like looking for like a F and S words. That's only like the book smart people do. Dialogue. Have a dialogue if you really think you are smart. and don't acting like you're smart. Live on it. And to me, next like the 10 to 50 years, South Korea eventually become either Vietnam or Philippines. They are not going to be better than that because their path is already on it. They lost this election because even the right side, they were like too much aggressive. Instead of like having a dialogue, they cursing other people. They're making it more, pushing people away. And in the backside, what they do, they're using Temu, AliExpress, Alibaba, Chinese site. Oh, it's cheap, $5 difference. Yeah, it is a big difference. Guess what? Right now, I don't even have next month rent, and I don't buying those Chinese made stuff unless like a medicine that I have no options. Why you buying those things are made in China and you still saying like I'm Korean, I'm right side. Bible says don't follow equal things. Just like what the Vietnam did, the South Vietnamese did during the Vietnamese wartime. South Korea's option for right side people, they only have one option. Just to get the grab your weapon and forcefully change it. And when you're changing it, not just like a Korean right side mindset, they need to completely new political party. Right now, like the both parties like are mentally retarded. Even the right side, they are afraid of China and they always bow to China. Like long live the king, Xi Jinping, long live the king, Kim Jong-un. That's what they do. Anyway, embrace the new king, South Koreans, those who live in South Korea. Ready to say, long live the king, Kim Jong-un, and bow to his picture every morning. And every household must hang his picture. That's what North Korea do. They're not even doing anything. They're just like watching you, make sure you're doing it properly. If you don't bow, then you go into concentration camp, entire family, and for generation to generation. There's no exception. There's no excuse, and you have to wipe them. When your house on fire, you have to rescue the picture first. That's the number one priority by legally. Ready to do that. And I really hope that President Trump really raising like a target tax on South Korea for 250%, not just 38%, 250%, because they are the one who is supporting North Korea government. If there wasn't like South Korea, then North Korea won't be there either, because government already should be collapsed. But South Korea always giving money to North Korea government. Till now, never ended. Thank you guys and see you next time.